Well, good morning. This is the Campin' Camera with Venture
Mrs. Venture.
and we are starting the segment 1 of the Colorado Trail. It's July 10th, 2013, about 9:30 in the morning.
2023.
Oh, just a
Something
date.
like that.
Yeah, right. For much of the first 7 to 8 miles of the Colorado Trail, it's on a road like this, which used to be a narrow gauge railroad that ceased operations in the 1940s. Yeah, it started in the 1870s.
So far, there have been several picnic tables and little shelters.
We've come about 2 miles so far. The temperature when we started was about 77 degrees. Now it's 84. Highs are expected to be
94?
yikes.
Yikes.
The umbrella is great for just this purpose.
The third dame we've seen so far, but not yet to the great big one.
And right over there, you'll see where we're going to pick up our water for the next part of segment 1.
There's Steve getting our water. We're going to just fill the bag and then bring it up to the shelter. There's a shelter not too far from here. And let it filter while we have our lunch.
It's time for lunch. And it just started to rain. Well, the rain didn't last long, and now it's bright and sunny. We've crossed over the other side of the South Platte River and are at about 5 miles into the walk today. According to the Far Out app, this is Stevens Gulch, which is right near the big dam. Bighorn sheep. After 6.6 miles of road walk, we are finally entering the Pike National Forest. Well, getting off of the road walk is nice. However, now we have the elevation gain. In segment 1, we climbed over 2,800 feet, and then somewhere along the way we lose 2,500 of those feet for a net gain of 300.
In memory of our son and brother, Leonard John Southwell, May 27, 1975 to July 14th, 1993. Thus far, the only really annoying thing is biting flies. They get on our legs. When we were trying to rest at lunchtime, we had trouble because there were biting flies.
These are fairy trumpets. We have come to Bear Creek, which is 8.7 miles from the start. Well, we only made it about 8.8 miles today. Kind of ran out of energy. It got up to above 90 degrees, and when we hit Bear Creek, we were thirsty. We filled up, but we didn't have anything to go on after that. So we pitched our double hammocks here. You can see there's a suspension bar in between them, and then they're hung on these two trees. That will become the tarp later on, and I'll put a mosquito netting up tonight because unfortunately it's been a wet year and there are mosquitoes. Normally there shouldn't be, but it's a wet year. But we're thankful for all the water. And here comes Miss Adventure, who went down to the creek to get us 2 liters of water. Thank you. Tonight we're having one of my favorite homemade camp meals. This is instant beans, instant rice with taco seasoning, and some dehydrated vegetables. And then right before we serve it, we'll put in some Tillamook cheese and some Fritos. Miss Adventure brought along a tomato, which we had on our lunch sandwiches, and then she cut it up so we could have it in our dinner. Fresh food on the trail. What a concept. Shh, Miss Adventure is still sleeping. Our bear hang made it through the night, always a reassuring sign, so I'll take that down and start the coffee. The value of a knot is not if it holds, but how easy it is to untie. This is what held our bear hang last night. And now it's done. Day 2 on the Colorado Trail. We got started this morning and now have about 1,400 feet to climb to the high point of section 1 over the next 3.8 miles. And then over the next 7.7 miles we have left in this section, we'll get used to the altitude. This was Miss Adventure's idea yesterday, that we could walk and filter water at the same time. Crazy, no? And here's some wild strawberries.
Yum. Steve has the Shroomify app, which we use to identify this as spotted tough-shank, inedible, quite bitter.
Not for dinner.
Not for dinner. There's a creek down there somewhere.
We're at about mile 10. There seems to be plenty of water on this trail this time of year. Wild rose. We're at mile 10.6, and that's the first time we've had signal since we entered the Waterton Canyon area. So far today, we've met quite a number of thru hikers that are finishing their segment 1. Dreamer, Deal, Crush, and Seeker, all doing thru hikes. And then we met a section hiker who we gave the name Centennial because his goal is to do all the top 100 peaks in Colorado, the 14s and the 13s. This is the high point of section 1. We're reaching at about 3:30 in the afternoon. It's 87 degrees, which is hotter than I would like it to be. But it's beautiful up here. This water wasn't on any of the charts I had for the segment 1, and we're really glad because we were about out of water.
When I was a teenager, I was part of a Baptist Youth Fellowship, and Mr. and Mrs. Wingate were our leaders. They had kids about the same age as me, and we would go every summer and hike in the mountains of New Hampshire and camp. And whenever we would see a place like this, Mr. Wingate would say, "Oh, it's an oh wow spot." So that's still what I think of when I see a place like this. I think it's an oh wow spot.
And finally, we see our first glimpse of the South Platte. Well, since we started segment 1, that is. It looks so close, but it's still about 3 miles of hiking to get to the South Platte. Mountain biker. As we near the end of segment 1 of the Colorado Trail, I have these thoughts. It's absolutely beautiful. Wasn't particularly fond of the 6.1 mile road walk at the beginning, although it was fun seeing all sorts of different people using it, bikers and people with strollers and such. people you wouldn't normally see on a Colorado trail. Still, it's a beautiful trail. Trails were in very good shape, thanks to those who maintain them. Met lots of people who are beginning their through hike on it, and that's kind of fun. Just hearing their stories. A surprising number of them had done the AT already. So it's not the solitary experience I was expecting. I'm also glad that Misadventure came along for segment 1. She won't always be able to join the camping camera as we head out, but it's always a delight when she can join. From the camping camera, this is Venture and Misadventure, who's behind me somewhere. No, not there. And thanks for watching. I may not always say that, but I do appreciate you watching our little adventures. So, take care.